Anbiya'illah. Story, one of the stories of the prophets, one of the greatest people that ever walked on the face of earth, one of the greatest messengers, one of ulul azm min al-rusul, one of the 5 mightiest prophets. He is mentioned in the Quran around 43 times. He is the second father of humanity. Abu al-Bashar. Abuna wa Abu al-Alam ajma' al-Thani. The second father of all humanity, of us all, after Adam, the first father of all humanity. All the generation, all the humans that came after him, they are from his children, from his offspring. وَجَعَلْنَا ذُرِّيَّتَهُ هُمُ الْبَاقِينَ. As Allah said in the Quran, we made his children, his offspring, his lineage, hum al-baqin. They are the ones who last forever. We're all from him. Prophet Noah alayhi salam. Nuh alayhi salam. أرسله الله إلى قومه. First the story and then the lessons that we learn from the story. The story we all know, long in time but short if you would mention it. عاش طويلا ولقد أرسلنا نوحا إلى قومه. We have sent Nuh to his people. فلبث فيهم. And he spent with them how long? 1000 سنة إلا 50 عام. 1000 minus 50. 950 years he is with his people. Can you imagine? 950 years, 10 generations. 10 generations, no phones during the khutbah. They will void your khutbah. They will reduce your ajr. 1,000 years, 950 years he is calling upon his people. عمر طويل. قال رب إني دعوت قومي ليلا ونهارا. He is patient. He is calling upon his people. As Allah said, one surah in the Quran named after him, Nuh. He said, Oh my Lord, I have called my people. I have invited my people. Layla, at the night. وَنَهَارًا, and at the day. All nights, all days, I'm constantly inviting them. His life is all dedicated for da'wah. فَلَمْ يَزِدْهُمْ دُعَائِي إِلَّا فِرَارًا. This invitation of me, this da'wah of me to them, increased them nothing but fleeing away, running away. Nobody is listening. And after 950 years, 950 years, yes. وَمَا آمَنَ مَعَهُ إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. Only a few believed with him. A few people accepted Islam with him. His deen that he invited them to is Islam. In the Quran he said, وَأُمِرْتُ أَنْ أَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. I have been ordered, I have been commanded to be of the Muslims, of those who submit to Allah. Muslims, Islam meaning submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the way of all the prophets. They اتهموه بالفساد والسفه والضلال والجنون. وقالوا مجنون وازدجر. They said he is majnoon, he is crazy. He said إن هو إلا رجل به جنة. In Surah Al-Mu'minun, as Allah said, he is just somebody with craziness in his mind. قال الملأ من قومه إنا لنراك في ضلال مبين. The الملأ are those like the elite of his people, the majority of his. They said, we see you deviant. You're going in ضلال مبين. Manifest deviation is your way. They told him ما هذا إلا بشر مثلكم يريد أن يتفضل عليكم. He's just a human being like you, and his intention is he's trying to be the best. He's trying to just, stand out. So they accused him, and they threatened him, and they told him, لئن لم تنته يا نوح لتكونن من المرجومين. If you're not going to stop what you're saying, they are taking it physical now. We will stone you. We will throw you with stones until you die. And they did physically attack him alayhi salam. He is calling them. قالوا يا نوح قد جادلتنا فأكثرت جدالنا. You have argued, oh Nuh, with us a lot. So he's inviting them in the nicest way. They hit him. They take it physical in him until he almost fainted out. And then he comes out the next day inviting them also in the best way, in the nicest way. And so much so that they were قوم سيدنا نوح كانوا كفارا معاندين. They were so arrogant, not accepting nothing for years. And not only that, as they die, one of them is dying, their wasiyah, they bequeath and they leave, the advice they leave for the children after them, don't follow this man. He is deviant. That's what they are leaving the next generation with. Generation after generation, they are tawarathu al-inad wal-kufr wal-dalal. They inherited from one another, being arrogant and being in a state of kufr and being an enemy of taking Sayyidina Nuh as an enemy. So much so that at the end when Allah Azza wa Jalla told him, وَأُوحِيَ إِلَى نُوحٍ أَنَّهُ لَن يُؤْمِنَ مِنْ قَوْمِكَ إِلَّا مَنْ قَدْ آمَنَ. The wahi, the inspiration, the wahi from Allah came to him, no one of your people will be a believer. It's only those. According to some narrations, they were 80 people, men and women, at the maximum. Some said they were only 8. But the more authentic narration, or likely to be authentic, is they were 80. So only 80 people accepted faith with him after 950 years. I mean, you make the math yourself. That's like what? 8 people? 8 people every 100 years. Every 100 years, you have 7 people. That's what? That's less than one person every 10 years. Every 10 years of the da'wah, maybe one person may accept your da'wah. That was the struggle of Sayyidina Nuh, and he is patiently taking it. This is the lesson that we will talk about. Lesson number 1, sabr, patience, resilience, steadfastness. At the end he said, he made the dua against them. He knew that there is no more believers. Rabbi, قال إنك إن تذرهم يضلوا عبادك ولا يلدوا إلا فاجرا كفارا. Oh my Lord, if you leave those people, they will go more deviant and they will cause deviation for other people, and they will not produce, they will not procreate, they will not give birth except to fajaran kaffara, criminals who are kuffar like that. So he called them and he exerted and spent a lot of time and a lot of effort trying to guide them, and only few people accepted Islam. From his family member, not all of his family member believed in him. He had 4 children, 3 of them accepted Islam with him and believed in him. One of them, his name is Canaan, according to some narrations, refused to accept Islam with him, and his story is mentioned in the Quran. And his wife, جعله Allah, Sayyidina Nuh, Allah set him as an example for the believers, for al-Rusul, fasbir, addressing Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in Surah Al-Ahqaf. Almighty Allah said, فَاصْبِرْ كَمَا صَبَرَ أُولُو الْعَزْمِ مِنَ الرُّسُلِ. You got to be patient, O Muhammad, like those mightiest prophets of determination. Nuh is one of those 5 prophets. Nuh alayhi salam, Ibrahim alayhi salam, Musa and Isa and Muhammad. Be patient like those أُولُو الْعَزْمِ مِنَ الرُّسُلِ. So he is an example for the messengers. His wife, Allah set her as an example also. But example for the kafirin. وَضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا لِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا امْرَأَةَ نُوحٍ وَامْرَأَةَ لُوطٍ. Example for disbelievers are the wife of Nuh and the wife of Lut. Even though her husband is a prophet, prophecy is in her house. And she knows him better than anybody else, but she did not believe in him. And this is another lesson that we will talk about. His son did not accept Islam, his wife did not accept Islam. He did everything he could, but there is just so much that you can do. إِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ. You do not guide whomever you like. This is another lesson for those who they might go the right way, but they have people who are dear to them. They do not accept Islam, they do not accept faith. And you feel so bad for them. Like Nuh alayhi salam. Even after the end of everything, he said, قَالَ رَبِّي, you promised me that you will save me and my family. قَالَ رَبِّي إِنَّ ابْنِي مِنْ أَهْلِي وَإِنَّ وَعْدَكَ الْحَقِّ وَأَنْتَ أَحْكَمُ الْحَاكِمِينَ. He's talking like a father now. You promised me you will save me and my family, my ahl, my household. He said, إِلَّا مَنْ سَبَقَ عَلَيْهِ الْقَوْلُ وَمَنْ آمَنَ. Except those that I promise I respond to your prayer. You made prayer against the kafirin. And I said, yes, that's done, deal. It's accepted. So those from your family, blood family members, they were from the kafirin. I promised to save only the believers. And he said, إِنَّهُ لَيْسَ مِنْ أَهْلِكَ يعني لَيْسَ مِنْ أَهْلِ دِينِكَ. He's not from your family. The true family is the family of faith, the family of Iman. That's the family that you have to care about. That's a lesson that Allah Azza wa Jalla taught Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam. At the end, when the wahi came to him, no more believers, and he made the dua against them, Sayyidina Nuh, Allah accepted his dua of prophets accepted. Allah told him to make a safina. Allah ordered him to build the ark, to build the ship. And he's just like, we read it like one line in the story. أنصنع الفلك بأعيننا ووحينا يعني بأمرنا وتحت عنايتنا وكلاءتنا. Make the ark, build the ship. Couple of sentences, right? But it took him over 100 years. He had to plant the trees from the beginning. There's no trees to build the ship in the desert. It was in the desert. He has to plant the trees and wait for so many years to get the wood. No talking during Jum'ah, ya ahbab. No talking during Jum'ah. No talking during Jum'ah, ya aslan. All right. I love you all. May Allah Azza wa Jalla bless us. Allahumma ameen. All right. So he had to he had to plant the trees from the beginning. So imagine that's going to take years, and then it will take him years to build the ship because he's not a carpenter himself. He had to learn it, and they have to do what they can. And at the end, قُلْ نَحْمِلْ فِيهَا مِنْ كُلٍّ زَوْجَيْنِ اثْنَيْنِ وَأَهْلَكَ. Allah Azza wa Jalla told him, we told Nuh alayhi salam to carry therein in the ship, in the ark, of everything that exists, a pair of all animals. وَأَهْلَكَ, and your family. Obviously those who will accept. Subhanallah, one da'wah, one call to all the species with fitrah salima, with pure nature. One call was enough. اركبوا فيها بسم الله مجريها ومرساها. He called upon animals. Animals, they are not polluted like us, and that's why Allah will set some animals, examples for us. An-nahl, an-naml, al-hudhud. All of these birds and animals and insects mentioned in the Quran for us to learn from. So they have pure nature. They have instinct. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them as is. They just do what Allah Azza wa Jalla built them to do. So one call from Nuh alayhi salam, and you see the lions running to the ship, the ark. You see the birds, you see the snakes, the alligators, what have you. Pair of everything, because everything else will be destroyed after that. And 950 years of calls and invitations to people, humans with minds, most of them did not accept. So what matters is, when we're talking lessons now, what matters is not how many times you listen to Quran or you listen to the invitation. What matters is, do you have the receptor, the good reception? Do you have the good heart? That's what we need to work on. That's our challenge, because the deen for our ummah, for our nation, is not going to be polluted. It's there. Quran is preserved. The deen is preserved. It's all upon us. You need to purify. We need to purify our heart. We need to make room for this deen in our heart. Our heart is full of social media, is full of dunya, is full of friends and family, challenges, making money, standing out in a way or another. There's almost no room for the deen of Allah. Our challenge is to make some room for the deen of Allah in our heart. So one call, one surah that we recite, one ayah would do the job, would just get there. Like it did with the animals. اركبوا فيها ركبوا. Get on board. All animals came. All of these humans, most of those people of Nuh alayhi salam, they were making fun of him as he is building the ark. قال إن تسخروا منا فإنا نسخر منكم كما تسخرون. Today you are making fun of us. One day we'll make fun of you. One day we'll see who is right and who is wrong. So those people, they were following the way of shaitan. They were following the way of shaitan from a long time ago. That started يغوث ويعوق ونسرة. Those were righteous people in their previous generations, thousands of years before that, or hundreds of years before that. Righteous, good people. They died. Okay, we need to make some like statues for them so we can remember them. That was an idea that came to them from shaitan. Just make a statue to remember this salih person, this righteous person. Generation after generation, it becomes holy. It becomes sacred. And that's why we need to look into what we deem and regard and think of as holy or something sacred for us. And sacred is not just like we worship, but no, we hold this idea, this value, this day, this occasion, somehow dear and special to us. We really need to verify this, because what shaitan did to the people of Nuh alayhi salam, is they were righteous people, statue generation after generation. Oh, those should be somehow get us closer to God, and they worship them. That Allah had to send a prophet to, or a messenger to refine their faith again, and they refused him, and they were still sticking to those fake idols. Excuse me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end ordered the earth and the sky. فَجَّرْنَا الْأَرْضَ عُيُونًا بِمَاءٍ مُنْهَمِرٍ, abundant rain coming from the sky, a lot of water coming from earth, and water is rising and rising, and people still did not want to get to the ship, including the son of Sayyidina Nuh, even though he's inviting him, Ya Bunay, oh my dear son, irkab ma'ana, get him board with us. Another call, another invitation. That's it. That's it. وَمَن يُرِدِ اللَّهُ فِتْنَتَهُ فَلَن تَمْلِكَ لَهُ مِنَ اللَّهِ شَيْئًا. If somebody, Allah Azza wa Jalla does not allow to be, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows to take the fitna, they chose to take the fitna, to fall in the test, not to make the right choice, there is no way you can guide them. There is no way. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tried with his uncle. He wanted Abu Talib to be a believer. Ya Am, accept this kalima, accept the word. But he did not want to accept the word. Ibrahim alayhi salam wanted his father. It didn't work. So you can just do what you can do, and that's it. Nuh alayhi salam wanted his son to accept Iman, to get with him in the ship, and he refused. He refused. Why? Because he said, سآوي إلى جبل يعصمني من الماء. I'm going to get to this mountain, it will protect me. This is an idol. He thought again, after he saw the water, he saw the ship rising, and he's still clinging and sticking to his idols. أصنام لنا جميعا أصنام يا أحباب. Every one of us, it's not only the people of Quraysh, it's not only the people of Nuh. Every one of us, we have our own asnam, our own idols. Whether it's our egos, whether it's our businesses, whether it's our families, whether it's whatever it is, money, house, arrogance, whatever it is that I hold so dear, sacred to me. So that he thought that, no, I'm not going to believe. I'll just get to one of those mountains and it should be good. قال لا عاصم اليوم من أمر الله. There is nobody to protect you. There is nothing to protect you from the command of Allah today, my son. إلا من رحم, except those that Allah showed mercy. So we really need to give up in our asnam, in our idols, purify our heart, accept the one command that Nuh and all prophets came with. قال يا قوم إني لكم نذير مبين. He said, oh my people, I'm a warner with clear warning to you. أن اعبدوا الله, to worship Allah alone. Number one thing is we need to believe in Allah. Even though this faith sometimes doesn't make sense at a specific time. You're building an ark, you're building a ship in the middle of the desert, and those who believe in him, they were building it with him. Because it's a matter of faith. It's a matter of faith. And then at the end, مَنْ يَضْحَكْ أَخِيرًا يَضْحَكْ كَثِيرًا. At the end, the believers were the winners. They got it. Even though it's logically not making sense for them at this time. They didn't know that there's going to be rain and everything, but it was a matter of faith. Nuh is a messenger from Allah. Allah owns everything. Sometimes we forget this fact, أحباب. ننسى ونتناسى. السماء لله والأرض لله ونحن لله والشجر والحجر والمطر والماء وكل شيء بأمر الله. Everything belongs to Allah. إنا لله. We belong to Allah. وإنا إليه راجعون. And we all one day returning to Him. Sometimes we forget that. Even though we might say it and repeat it. Somebody dies, yes, we announce it. But we forget. The people of Nuh forgot. They forgot that one day Allah can order the sky, and Allah did order the sky. قال ربي, upon the dua of Nuh alayhi salam, إني مغلوب فانتصر. Said, I'm defeated, O my Lord. فانتصر, give me the victory. You take care of them. ففتحنا أبواب السماء بماء منهمر. We opened the doors of the skies with abundant water. وفجرنا الأرض عيونا. We exploded earth like gushing springs coming out, water coming out of earth. فالتقى الماء على أمر قد قدر. And the water got together upon the qadr that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already decided. And what was the sabab? What was the cause? The reason? وحملناه على ذات ألواح ودسر. Nuh alayhi salam was not the shipping, whatever you call it, the ship thing that they built. right here. He was not an expert in building ships. He just got into an ark made out of alwah wa dusur, alwah wa masamir, just a few, lumber, pieces of lumber and some nails. That's all he did. But that was وَهِيَ تَجْرِي بِهِمْ فِي مَوْجٍ كَالْجِبَالِ. He was running with them in amidst mawj, waves like mountains. And it took it. Subhanallah. Because it's by the order of Allah. Those will be saved. And those will have to face the punishment. So let's not forget that everything belongs to Allah. Let's not just calculate everything with our mind, even though this is the best thing that Allah Azza wa Jalla has given us. But not everything goes every time by the way we calculate them, because that could be our idol. That could be our way of deviation. If it's not subservient to our iman, to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to do. At the end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala finished the disbelievers. After several days, وَاسْتَوَتْ عَلَى الْجُودِيِّ. Finally, the ark, the ship, the water is gone. قُلْنَا يَا أَرْضُ ابْلَعِي مَاءَكَ وَيَا سَمَاءُ أَقْلِعِي. Allah Azza wa Jalla ordered the earth again. Take your water. Sky, stop. It all works by the will of Allah, subhanallah. Who did anybody hear? Like between yesterday and today, I was confused at my house. Sometimes I turn on yesterday I was turning on the air conditioning, right? And today or tonight it's heat. Then in the morning it's like, is it air conditioner or heat? Who is messing up with the thing outside? Who is changing it? It's not me and you. It's Allah this belongs to Him. He decides. Yesterday was kind of hot and humid. Today is like, is it Michigan or Florida or what happened? I'm just coming out now. I was like yesterday, short sleeves today. Everything is controlled by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He ordered the earth and the sky to get water unprecedented way, and everybody is drowned. And a few days later, you stop. Everything is just by permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as He said in a different surah, Surah Fussilat. So let's not forget that we belong to Allah. Everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's learn those lessons from the story of Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam and live with them. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين الآثمين. نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله رب العالمين ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمد عبده ورسوله الأمين صلى الله وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Lesson 1: be patient, even if you have to go for 1,000 years, 950 years. If you cannot take it for 1,000 years or more than 950, maybe it's fine. But just be patient until you get to 950 years like Sayyidina Nuh, if you can make that. Because that's the lesson that Allah told Muhammad alayhi salam at the end of the story. Tilka, this story, min anba' al-ghaybi. This is from the stories of the unseen. You don't know. There's no way for you, ma kunta ta'lamuha anta wala qawmuk. There's no way for you or your people to get to know this story I'm telling you about right now. What is the lesson? Fasbir. Inna al-aqibata al-muttaqeen. You got to be patient, like Nuh alayhi salam, because always the end is going to be good for al-muttaqeen, for the pious. So now we see the plans, the action of Allah. We don't like a lot of it. That's what it is. Why those people are dying? Why they have to suffer? Why this is happening to me? Be patient, because the end is going to be good only for those who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَا آمَنَ مَعَهُ إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. We have talked about this. Only a few accepted Iman with Him. A few with quality. We focus on the quantity many times. We need to focus on the quality. The few with quality, with values. The little with value, the little money with barakah, the little ilm with barakah and with action is much better than abundant money with no barakah, abundant ilm with no amal. So we need to focus on the quality over the quantity, because a few people, Allah changed everything with them. And the lesson is repeated. Surah Al-Kahf, those few people, they had to get to the cave and Allah Azza wa Jalla caused them to sleep for 300 years and then they woke up, everything is changed. It was kind of almost the same, or maybe the opposite. The people of Noah, they got to the ark, and then the whole earth was gone, and then they have to start fresh. The earth is new. نبدأ على نظافة بقى من الأول. From the beginning, only those few believers there, they started fresh on earth. Allah Azza wa Jalla changed everything with them. ما بين غمضة عين أو بين غمضة عين وانتباهتها يغير الله من حال إلى حال. Let's not get stuck in the status quo. Our own individual situation, circumstances, let's not get stuck in them. The situation of the ummah, because that's gonna change. Our conditions change. One day you're crying, you think it's the end of life. Just wait a couple of years. Everything will be different. For the ummah, just wait some time and things will be different. Allah Azza wa Jalla changed. What matters is which team am I with? The team of Nuh alayhi salam and the few people with him, or the team of those who calculated in a different way? That's what matters. فَأَنْجَيْنَاهُ وَأَصْحَابَ السَّفِينَةِ. We saved him and the people with him in the ark. وَجَعَلْنَاهَا آيَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We made it as an ayah. Ayah is like a verse in the Quran. Ayah is like something for all the world to look at and take lessons from. Allah said we made this ark ayah. Lessons, like something for all the world to look up to. And this is, we believe in it as Muslims. Our fellow Christians also believe in that, because this is a story for everybody. Repeat it again, the same thing. إِنَّا لَمَّا طَغَى الْمَاءُ حَمَلْنَاكُمْ فِي الْجَارِيِّ لِنَجْعَلَهَا لَكُمْ تَذْكِرًا. Allah said when the water rose, we carried you. Allah carried us, because we were all the children of Nuh. After Nuh, we said, ذُرِّيَّتَهُ, his children are those who would last. All humanity is from him. So Allah said, we carried you in this to make it a lesson for you. وَتَعْيَهَا أُذُنٌ وَاعِيَةٌ. So that those people with attentive ears would get the lesson. So let's look at this and take the lesson from it. Al-i'tisam billah, let's hold firm to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's get to the ark. Let's get to the ark with believers. Irkam ma'ana. Get on board with us. You got to get with other believers. I think of the masjid, and all masjids as like arks. Allah said these as places for believers like this to come to Allah with other believers. هذه كسفينة نوح عليه السلام. If you don't come here regularly, if you don't belong to this group of believers, even though you dislike some, even though you have your own thoughts of some, that's what the people of Nuh said. You want us to listen to you and sit with you? اطرد هؤلاء. Take these people, push these people. وما نراك اتبعك إلا الذين هم أراذلنا بادي الرأي. And he told them, no, ما أنا بطارد الذين آمنوا. You want us to sit with you? Push all of these like low-class people. We don't sit with you as long. They said the same thing to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that was their idol. Their idol is like they judge by the looks and stuff. Sometimes, many times you do the same. We judge each other by the looks, what kind of car you drive. You shouldn't do that. It's Allah Azza wa Jalla has His own standard. وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ. You got to be patient. You got to join those who worship Allah truly. يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ. Let's get to the ark of Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam, the ark of the believers, like those of Sayyidina Nuh. Let's not be like the son of Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam, the disbeliever who refused. And he had his own, I can do it on my own, I can do this, I think it's this way, when it was totally wrong. Let's submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and let's just get the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Believe in Him. If we truly believe in Him, cleanse our heart, and the least thing would get to our heart, because we believe He's not gonna decide anything wrong. He is the owner of everything. At the end, you will be winner. Even though everybody around you is making fun of you, they made fun of the followers of Sayyidina Nuh, but the followers of Sayyidina Nuh, along with Sayyidina Nuh, they were the winners at the end. اللهم اهد قلوبنا واشرح صدورنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم اشرح صدورنا للإيمان بك والاتباع أنبيائك يا رب العالمين. Oh Allah, open our chests. Oh Allah, put iman in our heart. Oh Allah, put iman in our heart يا رب العالمين. اللهم انصر الإسلام. اللهم أعز المسلمين. اللهم عليك بالظالمين. اللهم انتقم من المفسدين يا رب العالمين. Oh Allah, put the hearts of the Muslims together, get us together to worship you and to follow your Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Oh Allah, make us like the few believers with Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam. Do not make us like those, even though they were close to Sayyidina Nuh, they refused the call and invitation to faith. اللهم اشرح صدورنا ويسر أمورنا واغفر ذنوبنا وارفع درجاتنا. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات المؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك يا مولانا سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وأقم الصلاة.
Kindly check your cell phone, make sure it's in the silent mode, please. Check it now, please. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استقيموا واستووا معين سووا صلاة قلوبكم صلوا صلاة مودع praise بسم الله الصلاة الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقتربت الساعة وانشق القمر وإن يروا آية يعرضوا ويقولوا سحر مستمر وكذبوا واتبعوا أهواءهم وكل أمر مستقر ولقد جاءهم من الأنباء ما فيه مزدجر حكمة بالغة فما تغني النذر فتول عنهم يوم يدعو الداع إلى شيء نكر خش عن أبصارهم يخرجون من الأجداث كأنهم جراد منتشر مهطعين إلى الداع يقول الكافرون هذا يوم عسير. الله سمع الله لمن حمده
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر
الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. كذبت قبلهم قوم نوح فكذبوا عبدنا وقالوا مجنون وازدجر فدعا ربه أني مغلوب فانتصر ففتحنا أبواب السماء بماء منهمر وفجرنا الأرض عيونا فالتقى الماء على أمر قد قدر وحملناه على ذات ألواح ودسر تجري بأعيننا جزاء
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Assalamu alaikum. Join us inshallah tonight for the Friday night program. Bring a dish to share at 6 o'clock, and then it's followed by dars inshallah or a lecture. Couple of announcements from the board inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. As you all know, we have sent out the bylaws changes and the endowment bylaws. Both of them has to be voted upon. It's a very historic moment. We have endowment fund. The bylaws will, with the input from the community, will be sent out this week, and then the voting will be not this Sunday, the next Sunday. If we do not have quorum, we'll have the voting the following Sunday, which is the 15th. So 8th or the 15th, depending upon the quorum. Also, the mobile masjid, we have an offer on it. We sent a message out. It's $55,000. So if anybody who wants to make a higher offer, please see any of the board member or Brother Tariq. It's as is, and it has to be removed within 3 months. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Dar al-Quran is off inshallah until Monday. We will resume on Monday. So no Dar al-Quran today or tomorrow. The next time inshallah is going to be Monday. Jazakumullah khair.